Rising tensions between Iran and Israel, key players in nitrogen and potassium fertilizer, threaten global supply stability. At the same time, the EU's stricter sanctions on Russian fertilizer imports are disrupting trade and driving up costs for European farmers. Now, these shifts could have major impacts on global agriculture and food prices. I'm Fiona Cincotta at StoneX, and to discuss this and more, I'm joined by Vice President of Fertilizer, Josh Linville. Thank you for joining us, Josh.
Absolutely.
So how could military tensions between Iran and Israel affect fertilizer supply chains globally?
This has been a major situation. This is one that we always talk about. We always focus on the Middle East and the tensions there. And these are people that have been fighting for not years, not decades, but millennia. And so we're constantly watching. And of course, we saw Israel preemptively strike Iran. And the reason this matters on the nitrogen market globally is twofold. Number one, obviously, the direct effect on Iran. If you look, according to our records in 2024, Iran was the third largest urea exporter in the world. They were the seventh largest anhydrous exporter. Now, fortunately for the rest of the world, Israel is very, very good at war. When they strike something, they are surgical. They're not trying to blow up a city block to take somebody out. They are saying they are in this building, they are in this floor, they are on this corner. We want this missile to go in the top pane of the window, not the bottom pane. So that usually means there's not a lot of fallout outside of that. There's not unintended consequences. However, just to make sure, Iran has been slowing down and stopping their natural gas supply in order to make sure that that doesn't get struck and turn into a bigger issue. You start to stop that system, now you're stopping nitrogen production in the country. That's having an effect on the world. Now, flip side, Iran takes a carpet bomb approach. They send hundreds of rockets and just kind of cross their fingers that they're going to hit something. Now, from a fertilizer standpoint, they typically go for the populations rather than infrastructure, but Israel still has taken down their gas fields just as a precautionary measure. And as a result, Egypt, who's the world's fourth largest exporter of urea, has also had to shut down their production until this thing calms down. So suddenly, with this situation, urea-wise, we've lost the third and fourth biggest manufacturers and exporters to the world. And then Israel, a lot of people forget, they are the fourth largest potash exporter. And again, these rockets are hitting just indiscriminately. They could very easily end up hitting, whether it is the mines or it is the infrastructure to move that onto the dock, out to the vessel. Any of that stuff gets hit, and suddenly number four is gone. So this is a major, major event that's had fertilizer prices screaming higher.
And changing geographical location here, why has the European Union imposed larger penalties on Russian fertilizer imports, and what are the expected consequences?
Yeah, the EU understands that Russia is its economy relies heavily on exporting natural resources. Now, whether that is a developed natural resource or not, that's where a lot of their income comes from. And of course, the EU is still worried about the Russia-Ukraine war, another hotspot in the world we have to worry about. They are sitting there worried if they take Ukraine, well, who's next? And if you're the EU, well, why would you want to support them? Why would you want to buy their fertilizers? You're sending them funds to pay for that fertilizer, which can then be used to attack Ukraine, who you're trying to support. So on the surface, it makes a lot of sense. They want to block that. They want to slow down the finances. Unfortunately, it's the European farmers that will pay the price. Think about it. These flows coming from Russia are the most logistically solid routes of fertilizer that they can find. By shutting this down, now you're forcing them to go to the rest of the world. That's a higher cost. That's longer time to get the product to show up. So unfortunately, it's the European farmer that's going to bear the brunt of these moves.
And then finally, the phosphate-corn ratio is at the worst it's been. Now, tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've been talking for the last several weeks about how high phosphate values are, and it continues to march higher. We continue to see India reporting higher and higher numbers that they're getting offered. Well, that has a global effect, and our prices have gone up as well. At the same time, grain prices have been pulling back this week, and we've continued to compare this year to 2008. 2008 had been setting the record, but now with the corn price where it is, where our NOLA, New Orleans, Louisiana barge price is for DAP, we're at about 155 bushels of corn to pay for 1 ton of DAP. That is the highest we have ever seen for this time of year. The U.S. farmer, the Canadian farmer, is spending more money, spending more of their bushels to pay for that input.
Well, thank you so much for your insights again today, Josh. Thank you. For more videos like this, please do like and subscribe.